Welcome to Dreamful Podcast, bedtime stories for slumber. A lot of work goes into the making of the show, and if you find value in it and would like to help support the creation of Dreamful Podcast, please visit patreon.com/dreamfulpodcast. In this episode, I will be reading a chapter from Dust, an Irish fairy tale by M.B. You can order this book from the Burren Nature Sanctuary in Galway, Ireland. The Burren Nature Sanctuary has trails where you can find the fairies in the meadows and spot their woodland homes nestled amongst the trees and mossy stones. I have linked to their website and social media in the show notes and highly encourage you to visit their pages. So, snuggle up in your blankets and have sweet dreams. Hello, it's me. Zorera heard the key turn in her pink front door. It was Queen Maeve, the fairy doctor. Zorera, the tooth fairy, was ill. She was lying on her little twig bed, reading the list. She shoved it under her pillow and looked up guiltily. The list had all the names and addresses of children in Galway who had just lost baby teeth. Zorera's strawberry blonde hair was spread out around her face. Her cheeks glowed like shiny red apples. She was so hot that steam puffed out of her ears. Queen Maeve peered down her throat. As I thought, fairy flu. She gave Zorera 1 spoon of honey herb throat medicine and 1 spoon of wild strawberry fever syrup. She tied a peppermint bandage around her head and put 3 bottles of murky green seaweed juice beside her bed. Drink 1 of these every morning, stay in bed, and you'll be back in the air in no time. Queen Maeve started to pack her bag. Zorera looked at the green bottles and her lip curled. What's wrong now? Zorera didn't complain about the juices. Well, I took a few days off to get my outfit ready for the party. I've fallen a tiny bit behind with the teeth, she said. How far behind? Said Queen Maeve. Maybe a week? Or 2? She gave a little cough for sympathy. 2 weeks? Said Queen Maeve. Zorera could see flames starting to flicker out of Queen Maeve's nose. She leapt under the blankets and pulled them up so only her gray eyes were peeking out. Queen Maeve sighed. Luckily the teeth store is quite full, but the children will be very upset if they have to wait any longer. I will cure you with dust, just this once. But what a silly waste. As Queen Maeve carefully unwrapped the precious bottle, Zorera felt her nose begin to itch. Achoo! Just as Queen Maeve pulled out the cork, Zorera did an enormous sneeze and knocked the bottle of dust out of Queen Maeve's hand. It flew high up towards the ceiling. The 2 fairies jumped up and tried desperately to catch it, but it was too late. Fairy dust sprinkled all around Zorera's room. The walls started to shimmer with diamonds, rubies, and emeralds. A rainbow arched over their heads. Stars twinkled on the ceiling. Planets and moons circled the ceiling light. The floor became soft, velvety grass covered with herds of little ponies and unicorns. Zorera stepped out of bed and stood on a fat white pony that was munching grass by a sparkling stream. It snorted with surprise and galloped away over the hills with its tail up in the air. The blackout blind started showing the latest Fairywood movie on Fairyflix. Oops, said Zorera, wide-eyed. She put her hand over her mouth to try to hide her delight, her face bright red with excitement. Queen Maeve picked up the bottle and slowly tipped it up. Nothing. It was all gone. She went pale. "Oh, Zarera," she gasped. "That bottle was meant to last a year. We can't fly or do magic without dust." "What if there's an emergency?" said Queen Maeve. "Tomorrow is full moon. All the fairies will need their wings dusted. Now I'm going to have to make another batch before I go to bed." "Come on, it's getting late. The sun will be up soon," she said. Zarera gazed longingly at her beautiful room. She wanted to play with the ponies and watch an epic session of fairy flicks. Queen Maeve gave her a big hug. "At least your cold got better. Wrap up and come with me. You can't stay here. You need to get a good day's sleep, then it's back to work for you. Cheer up, you can play with Justin." They hurried to Queen Maeve's arched purple front door. Queen Maeve lived in a tall ash tree. She turned the shell handle just as the pink sun rose behind the black mountains. Zarera knew the farmer would be out checking her animals soon. It was against fairy law to be spotted by any humans, unless you had special permission from King Dagda. Thank you for listening to Chapter 1 of Dust. To find out if Zarera and Queen Maeve can get fairy dust before the full moon and regain their powers, visit Burren Nature Sanctuary.ie to purchase dust.